I was diagnosed in 2016, and I
Mhm.
worked through like with some natural treatments and stuff.
Mhm.
One of them was it was an experimental thing that they actually injected into the tumor, and it caused an opening. And it was just, it was gross. It was
An
spewing out
ulcer.
like, yeah,
Mhm.
it caused an ulcer, right? That's
Mhm.
a great description. But that wound wasn't closing and wasn't closing and wasn't closing and wasn't closing and wasn't closing. And my doctor sat me down and he was like, we're missing something here. This shouldn't be open like this and
Mhm.
not closing. And so he sat me down and said, just talk. And so I rambled on about all sorts of different stuff or whatever. And at one point he looks at me and he goes, you realize that you deserve help. And I went like this.
Oh, he hit something.
I literally turned away from him.
Mhm.
And it wasn't like
Mhm.
I was upset or anything like that, but my body turned away from him. And so he just sat there patiently. And then a few minutes later, I start jabbering on again and again and again. And then he goes, you realize you deserve help. And I did it again, turned away from him. And so we finished our conversation. And the next day, I needed to go in for a physical exam where he could look at the wound and stuff. And I went in, and he was from a different country, so he had a really, really strong accent. And he comes in, rah, rah, rah. I'm like, what? What are you trying to say? And his nurse goes, deserving. Do you get deserving? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And we finished with the physical exam, and I go into his office, and he says, you had a completely different demeanor when I said that to you. He says, you believe that you deserve to be sick. You believe that you deserve to have cancer. And it was like
Mm.
I felt a shift inside my body, like my subconscious. I felt something physical shift in my body, and I, as if I could have been knocked over off the chair, like I'd
Mhm.
been hit by a 2x4 or something. And I walked out of that office that afternoon, and it's as if there had been like a plant in that wound. And like when you pull out a dandelion and all the roots, that's
Mhm.
kind of what it kind of
Felt
resembled
like?
to me, was having something ripped out by the roots of this wound.
Yeah.
And it was excruciatingly painful,
Mm.
excruciating. And I'd been documenting this wound with pictures every day, and every night. And that morning, I had taken a picture at 8 o'clock in the morning, went to this exam, felt like I got hit by a 2x4, walked out, had that excruciating pain of feeling like this had been ripped out, went back to rebandage it at 2 o'clock that afternoon, and it had shrunk by half.
That's amazing.
So it was that deserving, really getting that
Mhm.
understanding, having that little click. And so from that,
Receiving.
yeah. And so from that moment on, I just took off health wise. I got better and better. People were like, what is going on with you?
Mhm.
What's changed? What are you doing? And I kept up doing the eating well, and
Mhm.
making sure that I was drinking clean water and exercising, and the emotional, the meditation and the journaling and all of that. I kept that up, and then also looked at, some of those broken pieces from beyond.